Hey everyone, Dan here. Going to throw these back ribs on the smoker this afternoon and give these a go. I've done them before, just got them from local Coles. I've put the olive oil on them already just to give them a binder, and I'm just going to season them up before they go on the smoker, obviously. I've taken the back skin off the back, peeled that off before and done all that. That's quite easy to do just with a butter knife. There's plenty of videos on YouTube of how to do that. I'm not really worried about this rest of this fat. That'll render down during the cook. So just as per usual, I'm just going to put a bit of salt and pepper on these. Just get a little bit of salt on there. I'm actually using a rub that was given to me at Christmas time and a barbecue sauce to do these ones. My mother got me this for Christmas and the barbecue sauce to match. I believe they're a local Brisbane company. Anyway, this is actually smells a lot like vinegar, but it actually has quite a nice taste to it. So I'm going to add that after. I just put a bit of salt, pepper, smoked paprika, which I'm doing now. I love a bit of smoked paprika. Garlic powder and pepper on there just to give it a bit of extra flavour. Obviously I'll flip these up and do the back as well. But a lot of garlic. Got to get that garlic on there. Good to go. And cracked pepper before I add the rub. I've used this before and I've done this and it's come up quite nice. So usually I just go with the cracked pepper, but I've got this rub, so I'm just putting a little bit of it on as well, just for that extra bit of flavour. Fortunately, there must be sugar in it because when we opened it, it was already hard and I had to scrape it with a fork to loosen it all up. But it does taste quite nice to smell. It smells very vinegary to eat though. And just if you taste a little bit, it's actually quite pleasant. So I'll just put a bit of salt on the back. I won't waste any rubber or anything. Just get a bit of salt on there, maybe a little bit of pepper. And that's pretty much the prep work done for these ribs. Obviously just a bit on the side and on the ends as well. But I'll finish this off, get it to where I like it, and then we'll get these on the smoker. I'm going to use the 3-2-1 method today. So 3 hours. It probably won't even be 1 hour at the end, but 3 hours smoking, 2 hours wrapped in foil, and then 1 hour, probably not even that, maybe 20 minutes, just setting it again afterwards to glaze it in the smoker. So I'll get these ready and we'll come back once these are ready to go in the smoker. Okay, so I've got my smoker ready to go, sitting at about 100 degrees Celsius. I've got the bowl of water in there. About 3/4 full, and then I've put 3 chunks of this cherry wood. Just figured cherry for something different. I usually use hickory. 2 pieces of this. It's not that big, so 2 pieces are sitting beneath the heat beads. So I put them down in the basket and the heat beads over the top with just some extra heat beads in there, so that'll catch slowly. And then 1 I've thrown on the top as well. So that's my smoking timber for today. So I'll just put these on here. So I'll leave these for about 3 hours. Obviously they're on the top rack here. Just try to get them evenly. The heat comes up the side of these. You've got your bowl of water and the heat will come up the side, so I can rotate them around a little bit if I need to. Just a little bit of space between them, but just be aware of that. You'll generally get a little bit of burn on the edge, whereas the centre will be nice and tender. So this being the 18-inch Fornetto, I think the next one up being the 24-inch, probably wouldn't have that problem, but this was in my price range and I've had it for years now. So now let's go. I'll give that 3 hours to smoke, occasionally spritzing that to keep some moisture in the meat. Happy days. Okay, so we're at about 2.5 hours now, and you can see that started to pull back nicely on both of those sets of ribs. It has a little bit more to pull back probably, but that's fine for what I need. 2.5 hours, got a nice crust and bark on it. Looking rather nice and smelling absolutely delicious. So what I've done is I've prepared 2 rows of alfoil. One has butter and honey, and the other has butter and brown sugar. I'm led to believe by my wife that infants can't have, under a year old, can't have honey. So what I'm going to do is I'll come back in a minute. I'm going to place these onto the alfoil and barbecue sauce them and come back. Alright, so now they've cooked for, 2 hours and 40 odd minutes. Usually go about 3, but these are looking fairly good and they're tender to touch. And they'll only tenderise more in the smoker. This is the more important part. Obviously 2.5 to 3 hours just being smoked at 100 degrees. Then I put the butter and the honey, butter and soft brown sugar and the barbecue sauce to start giving it flavour. So I just add this. It's what starts to give it flavour, or a lot more flavour. Obviously the bark, the rub, gives it a good flavour as well. But I just want to get that barbecue sauce on there nicely. Wrap these up, put them back in for about 2 more hours. I'm taking them off now because I don't really want to burn them, and they're looking really nice. You don't have to do it like this. This is just how I do it. I got it off I think How to Barbecue Right, bloke in America, on YouTube. Did it something similar like this, and I've never looked back. So now I wrap these up. I might double wrap them if I have to. What happens is obviously the butter provides moisture, and you can see that's poked through there, so I'll have to give that another sheet of alfoil. And what this does is steams it, but gives it a heap of flavour, so I found it to be quite a good method. Obviously on the Fornetto it's a bit different than using a Weber or something different. Very similar to a Weber Smoky Mountain, so that one's good to go. I'm happy with that. But this one here with the sugar, I just want to do a flavour difference, just find out what the difference is between sugar and honey as well. I'll be interested to see if there is any noticeable difference. These will now go back in for about 2 hours. Fairly simple. You know, you can't really go wrong with the 3-2-1 method. Like I said, I've just taken these off a little bit before, but take these back and put them in the smoker now, so they're good to go. And they'll go back on here for another 2 hours or so. They'll take them out and glaze them. Yeah, out of the way, little kid. So I'll take them out 2 hours, and then I'll put them back in for another 15 to 20 minutes just to glaze them over. And they should be good to go. Okay, so I've just taken these out of the smoker. This is the one with the sugar. It's got a double layer of wrap. And, oh, there we go, that's what we're left with. So, the camera into that. You can see that's 2 hours in the smoker with the foil on. So what I'm going to do now is unwrap them both, place them back in the smoker and let that glaze over, and that's soft as anything. It tastes nice too. So that's 2 hours, 2.5 hours, sorry, smoking, and 2 hours wrapped in alfoil with the barbecue sauce. You can see all the juices at the bottom there. So I'll get these out, put them back in for another 15 to 20 minutes, let them glaze over, and they'll be done. I will mention, just taking these out, you've got to be really careful, because as you can see, that bone's nearly pulling out. Like, they're very, very tender at this point. So just take your time in getting them out of the alfoil, and they won't fall apart on you. Okay, so these are both done. This is the one with the sugar and the one without the sugar, rather than the honey. Just going to give this a slice. They did 15 minutes extra just to glaze them up. Oh, a little bit of gristle there. And this is the result. Right there. So that is quite tender, as you can see. So that took all up about 4.5, 5 hours to cook. Give it a try. That's tender. That's good. Right. Pardon me, that's how you do ribs on a Fornetto smoker.